It's your boy RZ here. Do it to life before life. Do it to you. Do it to 2021. A whole year of breast cancer awareness and personal growth. It's day 107. We put that up there some kind of way. One of them ways is right. You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Day 107. Today is Tuesday. On Tuesdays, we talk about the 4 agreements. Let me slide this back over and see if I can get a little bit of that done. We talk about the 4 agreements on Tuesday. And Tuesday, yesterday on not the 4 agreements, the one thing. Because Mondays we listen to the one thing, Tuesdays we talk about the one thing. And this time, talking about the one thing, they had one of the guys on their company that did termite service or whatever, but they had listened to it, and then they had went back and started to implement it in their businesses, because the one thing is universal. Just like I'm using it in my business, I'm also using it in my family. It's the GPS, the 411, and those are the 2 things versus the book. I thought he mentioned 3 things. And I got to get in on my 411 the way I need to be getting in on. I've been looking at it every day. That was one. Dang, this guy just ran the light. It just ran 2 or 3 lights. What's wrong with this guy? But anyway, I've been looking at my 411 every day, looking at it, because I know if I can't look at it every day, I definitely can't implement it every day. Like Papasan said, he carried his with him. I got mine in my bag, and I'm starting to carry mine with me, but I noticed where I got a little small disconnect at, right? I really don't have a huge, a concise 411 for the family. So therefore, when I'm coming home, I'm doing some mindless snacking, mindless TV watching, just non-productive stuff, because I hadn't sat down and did a 411 for the family, or he just wrote out a plan in general. I was thinking about that. It's tough stuff, right? And it feels like that because since I don't have a plan, not operating around my roles and goals, then it seems overwhelming that I gotta do every single thing. And they just had a meeting at work, and that's what the boss said. Hey, look, you got 2 or 3 different bosses here, and every boss is telling you something else to do, right? So it's a deal. Do you work on future business, or do you work on current business? Not just future business, but guaranteed future business. And that's where the disconnect is, right? You got 2 different, and it's hard to prioritize. So, we're going to take the path of least resistance. And the path of least resistance, even though it's important, it's not important right now. What's the one thing I should be doing right now? It's such by doing to make everything else I do right now easier, and some of it unnecessary. See, the future business is really easier. Future business tasks is really easier to accomplish than going on a cold call today. You see what I'm saying? That's just how it is. And so what they've been finding out is that more people have been working on future business, and they hadn't been doing enough current business calling. Just because the boss said that. And it really is, the boss is really pushing the future business, and the managers are pushing the current business. Then the bosses are pushing the managers on what's wrong with current business. You got what's wrong with the current business, but yet he's still pushing the future business. That's why we have to be able to manage ourselves, have our own GPS, have our own 411, have our own plans, and execute those plans. So that's what they was talking about before they shared with anybody else. They had to definitely work it out themselves. Say they even helped the guy that was on drugs. First thing the guy said, man, he said, man, hey, look, this guy was on drugs. He was about to lose the franchise. So we went in to intervene in there, and we pulled out the challenge calendar, 66-day challenge calendar. I'm telling you, what a wonderful tool. He pulled the challenge calendar out and put him on the 66-day challenge, getting the exits, getting the ego involved. He said he was able to kick that thing, get back straight, stay straight, and become profitable. That's what it's all about. So, man, I got calendars all up, right? And I want to implement some. I go ahead and put the calendar up. So I hope you guys have gotten the calendar, listen to the One Thing book, listen to the podcast, and starting to write out your own 411s. Yeah, it's slower than I anticipated because I think the accountability partner kind of really hadn't had one, really I really kind of don't want them kind of telling me what to do. I feel it's going to be more work or more stress or something, I don't know. But I'm building that muscle up through my exercising on my 77-day challenge. 20% of the year, I'm going to exercise every single day and watch the nutrition every single day for 77 days. I think that's building various type of habit forming muscles. Now that's what it's going to take. It's going to be taking the same thing over time. Just like it was built, it's going to have to be rebuilt, unbuilt, future built. Yeah. So I hope you guys listen to that. What else did he say yesterday on the One Thing podcast? I think that was the gist of the whole matter, was just implementation and the pitfalls. He said it also brought them together because everybody had a common thing that they could talk about. Like at home, right? I'm still working on I don't say I'm working with my family to implement the one thing and the things that we do. I mentioned it to my wife the other night. She said that she was having a tough time, on picking out foods and stuff like that, just, eating right and exercising consistently. And I was just telling her, now my wife, she's a tracker. She write everything on the calendar on other things, but she hadn't been able to transpose that over to exercise. And I know the reason why is because once you start tracking it, it's going to put more pressure on you. Then you're going to feel more obligated. You're going to feel that pressure. You don't want that pressure on her, see? And it's the same thing with me. The same thing with everybody. You don't want that pressure on them, so they don't want to track it. Because once you start tracking it, then you see that you ain't doing it. Versus if you not tracking it, in your mind, you think you're doing it. Hey, I'm doing it. I am. Man, how many times last week did you work out? Man, I worked out several times. When they come to find out, it was only one time you worked out. Well, why you want to jump in front of me for? You know what? That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But you see what I'm saying? It's just that we're trying to avoid that pressure. I'm trying to walk into that pressure. Let me just get over here. I don't like riding behind a dump truck. I don't know why he jumped in front of me for, but he did. Pray they make it to this destination safely in the name of Jesus. That's what you do, right? Somebody cut you off in traffic, somebody do something that you don't want to do. Just go ahead and pray for them. Y'all is all a part of each other. And we get to our destination safely. Just roll from there. What's going on? Alright. It's your boy Obzy here. Do it to life for life. Do it to you. That's a little snippet from the One Thing podcast. What I'm going to implement today, I'm going back to my 411 to see if I can refine it a little bit to make it more usable, because the way they described the 411, when Jay was talking to the guy, he said, okay, you got 3 things on here. Now, number 3 that you got on here, do you need to do number 3 before you do number number 2, or do you need to do number 2 before you do number 3? Now I need to do number 2 before I do number 3. Okay, we ain't gonna even work on number 3 then. All right, now number 2. Do we need to do number 1 before we need to do number 2? Or do we need to do number 2 before we do number 1? Strategy-wise, you say probably number 2 need to be done first. All right, we're gonna shuffle them around, do number 1 or whatever. He was just getting down to the point. Until you do the first one, you can't implement the second one. So even though I got my 411 already written out with my 3 strategies, my things that I want to do, I still gotta prioritize those too. And I think that's where I'm at, because all of them I think they all equally important, right? But they can't be. One of them has to be more important than the others. But all of them good. All of them good, right? I want to do them all. I feel that I can do them all, right? I figured I can do 3 of them. Otherwise, it's going to take me 3 years, right? Or I can knock that one out. He say knock that one out. If I know one of them going to take at least a year to knock out. I'll do it. I got some help, right? I can put pressure on my help. It may not take, I could probably knock it out in 66 days. Just grind it out. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I could just put a 66-day challenge on each one of them and grind it out. Gosh, I want to be making them active calls, right? Let's get in there. Let's just see how it, dang. Let's just get in there and just see how it trips out. Cause really on my channel, on my 411, it's really just like a daily goal. I make phone calls. I take out old customers, which is part of my phone calls. Then I add new customers, which is part of my phone calls. So you see what I'm saying? All of it's kind of there together. This just, I think I just need to just work that a little bit harder. So that's what I do. It's your boy OpZ. I'm out. Gonna hit this highway. Gotta concentrate. Oh yeah, I forgot they got a traffic jam up there. It's gonna take me a little bit longer to get to work. Just looking into the features, it's gonna take me a little bit longer to get to work. What direction should I go? Alright. Your boy, see, I'm out. I'm out. For real this time.